passions today are incredible, you guys. What can I say? I'm loving Campground Chic. You guys are doing such a great job, especially the s'mores jewelry. Where's the s'mores jewelry? I love it so much. Yes, love it. The s'mores jewelry. And I think my other favorite is there is a purse of fish on ice. Yes. Absolutely incredible. My name is Emily Kaywood. I'm your MC for the evening, and I would like to kick it off by introducing Heather Helping, you guys. Heather founded Families in Nature in 2008 with the goal of engaging families with nature through meaningful experiences outside. Heather's passion for learning and sharing science and nature began at an early age and led her to obtain her BA in Ecology and Evolutionary Biology and a Master of Arts in Teaching from Rice. Under Heather's leadership, Families in Nature has developed and expanded its programming and became a leader in science-based family education. Heather has also published numerous articles and spoken at conferences all over the world on the topic of science, education, and engaging families in and through nature. Yes. In the following slideshow, she has taken all but 3 of the above and underwater photos, and you will see the credits for them below. And now, everybody, I'd like to introduce Heather.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, how many of you know what this is?
Grass.
So, if you saw this walking on a trail, would you have stopped? Would you have even been close enough to ground to see this butterfly egg? That was a monarch egg. And we'll go back one. There you go. There. And then here's kids identifying and counting monarch eggs. This is a butterfly laying eggs. So it would be really easy just to name that and walk past, or even just walk past without noticing or seeing it. But when I see this, I see an opportunity to invite a family to slow down and look carefully with wonder at this tiny little dot. I see an opportunity to teach hope. We are bombarded by stories of environmental disaster, by news of monarch migration being disrupted by climate change and monoculture crops and all those things. But fear doesn't inspire anyone to love and connect with nature. It inspires apathy. When I see a butterfly egg, I see a moment that can inspire a child or a parent to fall in love with nature, even just for a minute. It can be shown that monarchs are not gone yet. There's plenty to save still. An egg represents hope for a whole new generation. It can inspire a child to want to study science and become a conservationist instead of giving in to the apathy created by the fear for the future of the planet. This girl is sitting right over there. She wants to raise her hand. That's awesome. And one of my favorite pictures. How many of you know what this is? So, this is a nudibranch. It is a soft-bodied marine mammal, marine mollusk. I would love it if there was a mammal lover here. Sometimes it's called a sea slug. What I feel when I look at nudibranchs is complete awe. How did nature make that? It has lungs on its back. It's crazy colored to convince predators that it tastes bad. And they're both male and female at the same time. So these are all different nudibranchs. That I took pictures of and the Nature Conservancy. They lay eggs that look like a rosette. that picture, it's actively laying the eggs. And then that will become a rosette of eggs like this. When you find them underwater, it's pretty unbelievable. So I love, more than anything, watching the parents and kids' faces when I show them things like nudibranchs and Christmas tree worms, which look like a Christmas tree underwater, but it's actually a worm. And you can scare them back in their hole. These experiences can inspire kids to want to learn more. They can connect the experience with learning to create a desire to be lifelong learners. Nature is the greatest teacher. I've seen this before.
From owls.
Right? This is coyote scat. This is scat, in general, is a lesson. It's a population study. It's a way to save endemic species from introduced invasive species. It's a PhD thesis. It's a tracking opportunity. It's a hint at how to keep yourself safe on a trail. It's a teachable moment. Sometimes it's a fashion statement. I know you've all been waiting for this. So this is one of our scat ID Just in case you're wondering what weird thing I have on my wrist. So, more importantly, this is a moment of wonder. You can notice a lot when you find scat on a trail. Does it have berries? Does it have hair? What color is it? What shape is it? Where is it? How fresh is it? If it's fresh, it's on your trail, and it has hair in it, you might want to raise your level of awareness and possibly your noise level so that you can be safe around whatever predator might be on the trail. If it's filled with berries, and it's small, you know it's probably a raccoon. The scat pictures are the ones I didn't take, by the way. This one is, if it's in a little pile of pellets, it's probably from an herbivore. And if it's in a desert environment and it's goat scat, then you may have a big problem for endemic lizards. I did that research in college. So scat can tell you a lot about your environment. But my favorite thing to do is make people squeal. And so when they squeal, they've made a memory. And that moment has made an impression. And looking deeply and enthusiastically at poop tends to leave an impression. So that's what you can do if you come out with us outside. So expressing our own love of nature inspires others to also fall in love with nature. How many of you now love nudibranchs or are curious to go find them in the ocean? Right? They're pretty awesome and pretty amazing to see. At Families in Nature, we believe that nature is the greatest teacher, and every interaction is an opportunity to change a person's life through inspiration and connection. What I saw when I founded Families in Nature is that the very base structure of all of conservation is a love of nature. And so if my work is to create an opportunity for people to love nature, then we have a whole other generation of conservationists. That's why it's all in love with nature tonight. So, this is Mullen, and kids love to pet it on the trail. If you ever want to amuse a small child, let them pet the plants, but not the itchy ones. So the other thing we do in Families in Nature is that we encourage the peer-to-peer learning. We encourage kids to teach what they're passionate about. Whether that is about coral frag propagation, like her son did, at Chasing Coral if you were here, or if it's about archery or about photography, we have our kids teach each other because that's how they learn best, is by teaching and being taught by a peer. So this is Jansen, who has been teaching fly fishing for us, and his parents are here. And so he's 11, teaching fly fishing in Ramsey Park over there. And then here he is at 15, teaching at Guadalupe River State Park. And then we have another one who's in the room here. Sophia is in the background there, teaching a family, I believe in Spanish, to paddle a canoe for the first time. We have young leaders in our college of school program working on, oh, sorry, I skipped something. Sorry. So we teach, our kids also teach about birding. There's lots of park interpreters around the state parks now that recognize our students because they're really good at bird ID by about 9 years old. And it makes an impression on the park interpreters. So this is another one of our youth. This is Zach Shell. And he is speaking with author Richard Louv, who's the one who coined the term nature deficit disorder and wrote the book Last Child in the Woods. Zach was interviewing him for a blog about the Children in Nature Network conference in 2015. Zach is, I think, 12 in this picture, maybe 11. He's quite young. And his blog post was actually featured as the top story about the conference. So we believe in lifting up the voices of our young conservation leaders as teachers, as scientists, as advocates, and as communicators. We have young leaders in our college of school program working on Humboldt projects, such as art communicating science, advocacy to remove single-use plastic straws from Austin restaurants, planning a marine protected area in Peru, and more. Those kids doing these projects are sitting over there. If you want to ask them about it. Our very first Humboldt project, and the first Humboldt Award, was given to a young ocean leader who created a video communicating the impact of chemical sunscreen on coral health. And that film debuted at Chasing Coral last year, which we showed in December of last year. She's the one that created the film. The film was so impactful that she was invited to participate in the Youth Leadership Summit of the Our Ocean Conference in Bali in October, where she presented her project to high-level officials from all over the world. My son Andy, who's also over there, was also accepted to participate in the Youth Leadership Summit at the Our Ocean Conference, both in Malta last year and in Bali this year. For his work in artificial coral reef design, he uses biophilic design to create artificial reefs to repair damaged coral reefs. These guys are sitting So we're lifting up these youth conservation leaders and giving them a platform on which to explore what they are passionate about. But we also think that nature is the perfect stage for authentic family connection. In Finn, we include all families with children of all ages and all genders all together. This gives siblings an opportunity to create shared memories with their family and community. So these pictures are all siblings, or cousins in this case. It is rare in our overscheduled lives to slow down and really give each other genuine, uninterrupted attention without the distraction of cell phones and to-do lists and 1,000 million lessons that we drag our kids through every day. When we include everyone together in our adventures, there are so many more opportunities for cross-cultural learning. From the food from different countries shared at a potluck, because our Saturday nights on campouts have become a potluck tradition. And so we have people from all different countries coming camping. I think we had 7 countries at the last one, which is pretty fun when everyone brings food. Also, hot dogs, no more. But family connection also comes in many flavors. Families have an opportunity to see other ways of being and share their experiences across cultures when they spend an entire weekend together. Whether that's how they connect with their teenagers, how they expect their children to interact with the family. There's all kinds of things you can learn when everyone camps together. So by camping together, we've created a diverse community of connected families and friends. We believe that nature is the great equalizer, and we work tirelessly to create equitable access to nature for all. Austin has recently been named both the most livable city in the U.S. and the most economically segregated city in the U.S. It is an essential belief of Finn that nature is for everyone, and we will always work to create equitable access to nature for everyone. I was taught by a very good friend of mine, over there, that the best way to do this work is to all camp together. Instead of programs being for one neighborhood or community separate from others, we invite people from all over to join our adventures all together. Our trips are frequently bilingual, with families from all walks of life camping together. Actually, the last one, I think we had about 6 languages. My life and my children's lives have been so enriched by including everyone, and food, as I said, is way better. Families in Nature is unique in this approach to inclusion. All of our lives are richer when everyone is included. Everyone needs nature, and nature needs everyone. Conservation cannot be accomplished without everyone at the table. So, now that we've heard a little bit about our work, I'm going to take a break and tell you who made this possible. So, our event sponsors tonight are the Winkler Family Foundation, Sunbelt Land, Frost Bank, maybe we can clap all at the end, the Cleaning Authority, Arterwood Farm, BFB Law, Personal Injury Attorneys, which we all know my family needs. I don't know whether they should represent us or sue us, but something. We thought that was a really appropriate sponsorship. Iron Wolf Ranch and Distillery, Cardinales Cellars, and Echo in Mexico. I want to thank all of you so much for making this night possible. And then I want to extend a very huge amount of gratitude to the people who support Families in Nature year-round. The Meadows Foundation, the Hershey Foundation, Texas Parks and Wildlife, the Winkler Family Foundation, Stark Martin Charitable Trust, the Environmental Fund of Texas, North Face Explorer Fund, Shield Earth Foundation, the Philadelphia Foundation, and Paddle Nation. So, thank you. Special thank you to the Winkler Family Foundation. Peggy Winkler, right there. That's actually her. Little did the rest of you know that this is Peggy. She has quite literally made Families in Nature possible from the moment we became a nonprofit, through her support, her encouragement, and her belief in what we're doing. Peggy, you're amazing. Thank you for believing in Families.
Mine too.
She was my underwater model, and yeah. I also want to thank my incredible staff for everything that they have done. So much hard work. Their creative thought, their commitment, their partnership, I could not do this without you guys. And thank you so much. I'm so grateful to have them standing by my side. Most of you know I did this by myself with volunteers for a very long time. And having this staff is life-changing. And I just appreciate them so much. So now I have a little surprise. that the people who are about to be called out don't know about. The creation of Families in Nature would not have happened without a huge amount of help. I want to introduce you to two people who have no idea they're being honored. These two women have stood by me, they have held my hand, they have encouraged me endlessly to keep going, they have taught me more than I can possibly express, and have walked beside me as I formed this organization out of basically thin air. Finn would simply not exist without these two people. So I want to honor them and share this moment with them at our first ever gala. I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart for everything they've done as my friends, as my partners, and as my teachers. I will start with the one who has stood behind seemingly everyone in the Children in Nature space in Austin. She has set the example of collaboration and cooperation and mentorship for not just everyone in Austin and in Texas, but nationwide in this work of connecting people to nature. So Molly Stevens, come here. Be a nonprofit organization. Over the years after that, a decade, Molly has held my hand getting on a plane to go to my very first professional conference. She served as my founding board chair, helping me file legal paperwork and figure out how to write a grant, because I'd never written one. And she answered hundreds, if not thousands of phone calls and emails over the last 10 years. She even helped with this, our very first gala, when I was having a complete panic about it. Molly is the best mentor and friend that anyone could be lucky enough to have, and I will be forever grateful to her. So I have a little present for her. So, Andy drew this for Molly. It's a golden cheeked warbler, which lives at West Cave. Molly is the executive director of West Cave, and she created SINCA, which is the Children in Nature Collaborative of Austin, with the help of a lot of people in this room. And so Andy drew her a golden cheeked warbler. Second person I want to honor. Oh, I didn't skip to the picture of Molly. There we go. You see her in her flesh instead. So the second person I want to honor for shaping Families in Nature really doesn't expect this. She has openly and collaboratively helped me learn how to include everyone in this work. She has been my partner in forming this organization. She's taught me that we all benefit when we all camp together. She's welcomed me into her home and into her community for many years. Oh, Maria. They have translated at countless fan events. Most remarkably, they have brought literally hundreds of people out into nature on our adventures. Maria started by inviting her sisters, like Fabiana, who's here, over there, and their families to join us. And now her friends, neighbors, and church families all come camping with us often. I feel honored to have her community as part of my community. One of my most treasured memories is when I had the privilege of taking some of her friends and sisters to the ocean, to see the ocean and touch sand for the very first time ever. Adults and children, some of them had never touched the ocean. Here we are, 4 hours from the coast. And I will always remember one of the little girls, excuse me, bending down and picking up sand and just looking at me with wonder, saying, "It's so soft." And we walked, I don't know if you've been to Galveston State Park, but you walk from the backside of the dunes, through the dunes to the beach. And she picked up the sand just on the path, not even all the way to the beach yet. And then they saw the waves coming up in, 4 or 5 inches of water. And just as the sun was setting, a mom grabbed her 2 daughters' hands and they started spinning around in the sunset. And it was just the most magical moment. And then a few feet away, Sophia actually found this heart on the ground. And a bunch of these teenagers lit it up with headlamps to take a picture of it, but it says, "I love my family," in Spanish. So I will remember that experience for the rest of my life. My life is richer, and my children's lives are richer, and I feel more capable of doing this work the right way because I have Maria by my side. And if you are so lucky to camp with Maria and her friends, you will never camp without them again. The college dinners on Saturday night have taken a whole new level. And also, my kids hate it when I pack hot dogs. So Maria, Carlos, Carlitos, and Jackie, will you come up here? I want to thank all of them for teaching me and standing beside me in this work. And thank you for bringing so many wonderful families in Austin out into nature with us. We love them all. They also have a little one now. We didn't think he'd have as much fun tonight. So he got left at home. But this is Mateo cooking breakfast in his mom's belly. And then there he is as a newborn. All of you who say my child is too young to camp, not at all. This child is like 5 weeks old in this picture, being put to bed in the tent. Actually, I think that's in the morning. And then this is him on the Shield Ranch, getting his feet into Barton Creek for the very first time. And I feel honored to be part of his life and theirs. And I can't wait to have lots more adventures camping. So I cannot express how grateful I am for the friendship, leadership, and mentorship that Maria has given me and given families in nature. And Carlos, Carlitos, and Jackie have tirelessly volunteered to support our work. They have schlepped gear, they have translated, they have helped people paddle, they have loaded people in canoes, they have chased my kids. I don't ever know where my kids are in the campfire. I know where your kids are, but I don't know where mine are. And I'm so glad to have them as part of this group. So, Andy also drew a picture for you guys. So, because Galveston is a special place to camp for us, Andy drew a sandpiper for them.
Andy.
So. We also have Michael over there, which my photos, a few of them are in Rich Luke's book, Vitamin N, and Michael is in those pictures, holding up a fish print. He is much smaller in that picture. But he's famous, and he's over there. So, I wanted to tell you a little story about how Finn started, because I think maybe not very many people know how it actually came to be. When Ethan, the one over there with the broken leg, was 3, a neighbor came over and asked me to take her family and some friends camping and teach them science every few weeks. And I looked at Ethan and I thought, Andy was 7 or 6 and Ethan was 3, and I thought, no, clearly you're crazy. That's not happening. And then, like 20 minutes later, another neighbor called and said, hey, I really want to take our family camping more often with our friends. Would you take us? And I was like, 2 in 30 minutes. Okay, the universe was telling me something. So I went inside and I planned 3 years of activities in a little while. That's what I do. And I said yes. And within 24 hours, we had 8 families. And within 2 years, we had 35 families in a vow of secrecy. Because the waiting list was years long at that time. So, I was a middle and high school teacher. I'd taken high school kids all over the world. When I was 23, some idiot thought I could take a bunch of high school kids to Belize to teach them marine biology for a week. Everyone came home. It was amazing. But I've been taking families on trips for a long, long time and taking students. And so this wasn't a huge leap, but it was kind of a leap. So in 2013, we got 2 awards in the same night. One was the Austin Chronicle's Best Nature Education for Kids and Families, and one was the Children in Nature Collaborative of Austin's Award for Vision in Connecting Children to Nature. And I was over the moon excited and humbled and panicked all at one time, because I thought, oh my God, people know now. What am I going to do? So I started figuring out with Molly how to form a 501c3, how to make a board, what the legal paperwork even was. And I refer to it as my inverse climbing wall, in which I climbed up that side. So I think I'm kind of like on a curve now instead of the wall. I'm still learning a lot, but it doesn't feel like I'm hanging upside down anymore. So thank you again, Molly. And all my founding board members, of which there are several in here. So now, I am so proud of how Families in Nature has grown and the scope of what we're offering. And I don't think very many people in here know the full scope of what we're really doing. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to tell you. So this is all photos from, I think, the last year. I think this might even just be the last 6 months or so. But this is our annual report, which you'll find in your little program. We've shrunk it down so you can see it. We have had participants spend over 42,000 hours in nature in just 1 year. We now have an ecologist school program, and the badges in Nature Journal are up there on the check-in table where Sarah is, if you want to look at them later. They were designed by a graphic artist. The patches were designed by a graphic artist in LA, who happens to also be Dave's cousin, which is real awesome. And with the Ecologist School Program, they can earn, participants can earn badges in 16 branches of science. And there's a graduation project called the Humboldt Project. And if they do that, and they get a Humboldt Award, and they get 10 patches, they can become a certified citizen ecologist if they're an adult, or a certified junior ecologist if they're a kid. And a bunch of the ones at that table are real close to finishing. So you'll hear about that this spring, I'm sure. We also have the Familias Aventureras program, which is our Spanish language. It basically means if it says Familias Aventureras, it means that it's in Spanish and in English. So if you're Spanish speaking, you can feel comfortable that someone can help. And our website's in Spanish as well. There's a little button that translates the whole thing. And then we have our nature immersion program. I've been since 2014 taking families on crazy trips to do crazy things, and we do field science outside. And so a lot of the people in this room have come on our trips, but this is Baja from last year, where we got to pet baby gray whales and learn about their habitat and how they breed. We swam with whale sharks. In Cozumel, we went and saw sea turtles laying eggs and then did a hatchling release and then cleaned the beach for the sea turtles. We also did coral reef biology, and the kids went scuba diving and snorkeling. And then this is our oldest trip, that's Costa Rica. We went to the remote part of the tip of the Osa Peninsula and took 25 people down there to do rainforest ecology and of course more sea turtles. So we have a trip coming up to the Bahamas, but it is full. But we have a marine lab trip, which is in the last week of July. If any of you want to send your kids, I've extended the deadline so that we can take, I didn't do it last year, so we can take more people. And also adults can come. So Jen helps me do the math on this one. We've been collecting our statistics just since we got nonprofit status, which was in about November of 2014. So since then, just as a nonprofit, so not the years before that, we've had 16,000, almost 500 attendees in our programs who have spent 179,000 hours in nature, which I think is pretty nice. Even I was kind of surprised by that one. So we also have, so the question is, where do we go from here? How do we have enough people to meet the demand for this program? Because there is a lot of demand out there. For years, I've been telling people, even nationally, no, we're not ready. No, we're not ready. Well, we're finally ready. We have a 3-year strategic plan. We've got lots of staff in place to help with making that, not lots of staff. We have 3 staff. 4 in place to help make it possible to get more people outside. So we have our next guide development program happening in a couple weeks. And so when people go through this program, they can have access to the ecologist school curriculum that I've written with some help. And it is about 1,500 lessons to teach science outside to all ages, all together, in a play-based way. And so you get access to that if you come to our program and learn how to use it. This is a picture of our last guide celebration, which was a couple of weeks ago. We took them out on Lady Bird Lake, not in bat season, which no one has really done because we always go out with bats. And there was a fire pit on top of the boat. Who knew? And so this is a bunch of our guides gathered around the fire when we took them out for a little fun experience on the lake to tell them thank you. So I feel really proud of the accomplishments so far, and our vision is to inspire all families to fall in love with nature while fostering the next generation of conservationists. But we still have a lot of work to do to include everyone and meet the needs of our community for equitable access to nature. We've touched hundreds of families just during the last year. How many families can we touch next month, next year, or in 5 years? I love this picture. This is at Brunel's Falls, and those girls were in some really warm, disgusting mud. But they looked so peaceful. It was one of my favorite pictures, but all I could think was eardrops. They just look, these are girls from El Ranchito, which was also started by West Cave and a lot of other people. But I love how relaxed they look in their warm mud puddle. How many creative ways can we come up with to teach wonder and awe and hope? How many young conservation leaders can we lift up to honor their creative work that will make this planet a healthier place? And how many people can we inspire to fall in love with nature? That's my third one. He's not here either. And how many families alone in Austin will look at this with wonder and awe? Thank you
Gala tonight, and I learned about poop. It's the coolest thing. How great is that? Next, I would like to introduce the chair of the board of directors. Erin Obering was introduced to Families in Nature in 2017. Numbers. Okay. Since that time, she has held positions as treasurer and now acting chair on FIN's board of directors. Erin is currently Director, Commercial Project Management at One Gas, where she oversees infrastructure program and project management and capital spend forecasting and management. She holds a Bachelor of Science Finance from Regis University in Denver, Colorado. Everybody, Erin Obering.
Welcome. I'm excited to welcome you all here tonight. We're so appreciative of you joining us as we celebrate falling in love with nature at our first annual event. We're very excited about it. As Heather kind of mentioned before, this is really a coming out for FIN. This is a new chapter as an organization as we go nationwide and across the world. It's a change in our structure, and we're very excited about it, and we're excited to invite you here tonight. So in the spirit of our coming out party, I would like to introduce you to our board. And I didn't tell any of you, but you have to stand up. You're welcome. Board members, stand up, please. Brad, I'm staring at you. Most of our board members are here tonight, so I'm going to introduce them by name quickly. We have Martha Stockton, Brad Price, Amala Puckett, Fabi Rodriguez, Dr. Gary Morris, Rich Legrand, and we have a few who couldn't make it. We do have Dr. Cesar Navarrete, Robert Ochoa, Rayanne all along, Tex Duncan, and we'll give them a round of applause. On behalf of the board, we'd also like to extend a huge thank you to our staff who have put this on and our volunteers. This is a wonderful coming out event for FIN. We're so impressed by the work that you've done. I don't know about you, but I've made lots of great connections tonight. I found a kindred spirit and energy who thought that was actually an interesting topic. I learned that trespassing can get you on the board of directors at West Cave. I got to try really great bourbon, and I drank more than my fair share of wine. Some of us would say that we serve on the board of FIN because we're really dedicated to the cause. The more honest among us would say that our Christmas gift comes in the form of Cardinale Cellars wine. Thank you again for everyone who made tonight possible. We'd also like to thank our supporters who are here tonight. It is your continued generosity that makes our mission possible as we continue to execute on that core mission of bringing families together through nature. We're so appreciative of all you do. And if you're curious what your money can do, I did not memorize this part. Perfect. We have a slide. For $5,000, we can provide a scholarship to an entire nature community of under-resourced families to experience a full year of nature education. $2,000 could send one under-resourced youth to Marine Lab, which Heather talked about earlier, so please think about that. $1,200 would support a FIN Nature Community's annual suggested contribution to support FIN's mission and provide equitable access to nature for all. $750 can send one volunteer through our new guide development program, which is exceptional. $500 can provide a scholarship to one under-resourced family to experience a full year of outdoor learning through FIN. $250 can train one guide or youth in wilderness first aid or lifeguarding, and $100 will take one under-resourced family camping for an entire weekend. So your dollars go a long way with FIN. And it's those continued donations that really build that foundation for us to continue our educational programs. So if you feel so compelled tonight, there are note cards on all of your tables. You can fill them out, and the kids will come around in a couple minutes to collect those. While you're filling out those note cards, I want to tell you a little bit about why FIN matters to me. My husband Peter and I, we both grew up in Colorado, and in Colorado, being outdoors and in nature is such a core part of your upbringing that you really take it for granted. So when we moved to Texas a few years ago, we were a little bit shocked and surprised that that's really a luxury that's not afforded to everyone. And so getting involved with FIN was an opportunity to really provide those experiences to more people around us, which is really important. I'm at my happiest, I know, when I'm out in nature with my family. My husband says that I'm kind of like a dog. You have to walk me, you have to feed me, and pet me once in a while. So FIN really allows us to do that and really connect more people with those experiences means so much to us. And I'll leave you with one more story before I let you go tonight. And this is a funny story about us in nature recently. We go to Colorado often to see our families, and we were up there last summer. And we decided, okay, as a family, we're going to go for a hike. So we go for a hike. We're walking through the woods, and it's just my husband and I at this point. We're walking down the trail, and all of a sudden, back in my mind, I'm like, oh, there's a horse on the trail, and it's coming at me. Very quickly realized that was not, in fact, a horse. That is a bear that's the size of a small horse, not your best friend. And so I stopped in my tracks, and I grabbed my husband by the back of his shirt and pulled him backwards. We did all the right things that you're supposed to do. We got big and loud, and we're going to scare this bear off. And this bear was not having it. It was going to follow us. And we're like, okay, this bear wants to be our best friend, and we're not interested. So we decided we're going to walk back to the car. So we start heading back to the car, and we're continuing to be loud. Well, we ran out of loud things to say to each other very quickly. So we're like, let's sing. This is a great solution to a bear on the trail. Well, there's nothing quite as effective at helping you forget every word to every song you've ever done with a bear following you down the trail. Singing Jingle Bells in the middle of July. So it is my hope that through Finn we can provide lots of kids and families with their own Jingle Bell stories. And tell their stories to their friends. So thank you again for coming tonight. We're very excited to welcome you to our inaugural event. We're hopeful that you'll come again next year.
And now I would like to invite you to enjoy some nature by taking a step outside. There'll be music out there. We'll be roasting some s'mores. You can get your astronomy badge from the ecology school if you do some stargazing outside tonight. So yes, go on, join us outside in that nice crisp air and do some stargazing. Don't forget to stop by the silent auction tables and check that out on your way. So thank you again. Thank you very much.